You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. A woman should be two things: who and what she wants to be in life. Empowering thoughts, isn't it? At the onset of this International Women's Day, we wanted to do something different, something meaningful. Question is, why do women need meaningful help? Let's look at some hard facts from our country. According to a latest CFR report, and I quote, India among lowest in developing economies at 24% of female participation in the formal labor force. Well, interestingly, the latest Catalyst research report on the India said, though women constitute 48.1% of the population, women account for only 19.9% in the total of formal and informal workforce in India. India's economy is growing. Despite this growth, there is so much of lower participation of women, and that is due possible restrictive cultural norms regarding women's work, the gender wage gap, and a lot many other things. The story remains the same for corporate women too. Only 3.7% of CEOs and managing directors of NSE listed companies in 2019. Less than 10% of the firms have still women in top management positions. Women account only for 13.8% of the board directors from listed companies in India. And over and above all these numbers, unsafe workspace has resulted in building an army of broken women. Concerns of personal safety, security, including fear of sexual harassment, and many other, so many reasons that are keeping the women away from the corporate world. Again, the question arises, are the companies doing so wholeheartedly? Are they helping women wholeheartedly? Is the law being followed? And is the law helping women and supporting women on the ground? Today, we launch a movement called #WeToo. Open up your heart and share your experiences with no fear, no shaming, no naming, just your story, your experience to inspire and uplift many broken women out there who need this from us the most today. I very graciously invite you to hear the story of following courageous women who are coming to inspire the world for good, and make corporate world a better place to be in. Please help me and welcome to the most courageous panel discussion in the history of the corporate world, Miss Shelly Tripathi, 19 years of rich HR and tech leadership experience. Miss Somia is a learning and organizational development consultant from the United States and runs Somia Trains LLC. Miss Indu Sharma, 18 years of diverse IT experience in HR, a mother of 2 beautiful kids, a strong woman who has learned that it's important to raise your voice. Anisa, 20 plus years of corporate HR hiring and recruitment experience in the niche of technology. And Miss Sitara Suresh Naidu, founder of the Millennium Hub, a global digital lifestyle magazine with experience of about more than 10 years in journalism. Let's welcome them.
Hello everyone, and a very, very, very warm welcome. I want to start with some very powerful line. This session that belongs to the women fraternity. Today is our day. I wish we could have this day every day in life. And the stories that we want to bring out today through this mission and the movement that we are starting, and you all, I onboard you all as the founding speakers of the real movement that is starting from India. #WeToo. Welcome everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
I, on behalf of everyone, and you all, can wish all the women out there who are struggling, working hard. We all know what our challenges are when we have to come out of our homes, and we are striving hard to build our careers. From those emotions, I want to start this session today, where I strongly believe this is going to be doing 3 major things for all the women out there. First, when it comes to difficult situations, moments, or experiences in life, and especially when we are out focused on building our career, things like harassment, sexual harassment, I am very proud to say the panel discussion that is happening today has never happened in the history. We all will make history by empowering other women and ensuring this Women's Day becomes the most memorable for so many women out there who probably are going through tough times. There is no school, there is no college, there is no school of thought that is teaching these things to our youngsters, to the younger generation. This panel and the founding speakers will create a school of thought for corporate life That's our first mission. Our second mission through the hashtag #VToo is to create a movement where women, men, women both, can come and talk about their experiences and look for the closure that they always have been looking for. And third, this movement needs to become a global movement of experiences. There is no naming and shaming. There is only real women, real men coming out strongly with their experiences and sharing with the world to empower the world. And the third mission through this is to nudge the government, the authorities, and tell them that probably the law is not doing what it is meant to do. The law is not able to give what it has been created for, and hence these stories. So, without much ado, let me welcome my first guest, Somia. Hi, Somia. We would love
Hi,
to
Anisa.
we would love to hear your experience across the border and how you have dealt your corporate life and how empowered you feel after experiencing things.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Poonam, and so honored to be here today with all the other powerful ladies around me. Just the screenshot itself is so empowering. I mean, I'm sitting in the company of so many people who are almost like sitting on the shoulders of so many people who are sharing these common stories today. So thank you so much for having me. Um, I'm an Indian. I was born and raised in Bombay and moved to United States when I was in 2002, when I was about for my graduate school, for when I was like 22, 23 years old. What I want to share was the perspective, what we bring in as women who are moving from one global society to another. What I realized growing up in Bombay and taking, public transportation and going to college and doing this day in and day out, and many of you have done that or doing that daily, that many types of harassments that happen during that time, you start normalizing them. Things like commenting on your clothing or how you walk, or somebody nudging you or grabbing you in a public train or a bus. It's almost that you become conditioned to tolerate that, because the other option is that you can't stop going to college, right? You can't stop going to school. So my realization when I moved to United States that was an eye-opening one, because in the US, these type of things that I thought was normal, which is so sad, were not allowed, is harassment. And when you talk, and in a university campus, there are people from other countries as well, other societies as well, many other women who are my classmates from all different places, and we would talk about these things once you become friends. And when I would say things like that, they would look at me and they were like, that's really sad, what did you do? And I would look at them, I said, nothing. We actually tolerated this every day, almost every day, to an extent that
But we don't think about doing anything.
no, we're
We don't think like
conditioned.
that. We are
Exactly.
conditioned.
We become so conditioned that we take it as a normal way of life, which that learned lesson came to me when I had to move thousands of miles away in a different continent. And the other eye-opening thing was during the Nirbhaya episode that happened 4 or so years ago, right? And in New Delhi, I was reading all this, how the world was reacting to this. Again, it opened my eyes one more time. It nudged me, almost grabbed me internally, that wow, we have all grown up like this, thinking that this was okay, and we were just getting by and tolerating it. And so I think a lot of it, when you talk about harassment, so much of it is is what the society and the culture allows us to do, and doesn't target the person who is perpetrator, that this is wrong. It and so we think that, oh, nudging and catcalling and somebody pushing you in the bus is okay. Oh, at least he did not throw acid on me, or at least she did not throw me out of the bus, or whatever it was. Isn't that sad? Isn't that something to think about? That when you have to really think about things of in to that level, that, oh, at least I was not burned today, because this is not, I'm still okay. This person only called me whatever, and it was sexual in nature. So that is essentially what it was, a realization for me. But
Experience
yeah,
has
yeah.
been, Somya, when it comes to the working women?
What has it been as a working woman? I mean, so what I've been thinking about this panel for the last few days since we have started talking about it, and what becomes really interesting is, coming from an L&D perspective. I work in a learning and development field, and so we design training for anti-sexual harassment policies and things of workplace harassment policies. And what I have always realized, and a little bit like is cringeworthy, is the amount of content that is so extreme in the training. The pictures that are almost comical. Nobody is hitting anybody in the rear end anymore at a workplace. And when you show things like that's harassment, where somebody really calls you out in a sexual manner or grabs you in a sexual manner, that's harassment. But in 2021, that does not happen in the workplace. What happens is microaggression. What happens is an intersectional type of harassment, which you might find very uncomfortable experiencing with that person or in that group. You might feel that you're being hostile. You feel you don't want to go to that meeting anymore but you still can't put your finger on it.
Yeah.
And because
Also
it
the expertise. That's also the expertise that is now on the table of a sexual predator.
Yes,
You understand that
absolutely.
they understand where the loopholes are. They understand where
Absolutely.
the periphery is, and they understand
Absolutely.
that it's really what you're saying. It's really not just about that. It's about so many things that as women, constantly when you're going through something, you experience.
Yes,
So,
and absolutely. And and somebody who does L&D work,
yeah.
it always bothers me to pinpoint that, training should be more like this. This is the conversation that we need to have at workplaces, not the extreme stock photos of people feeling sad or people feeling angry. I mean, that's not cutting it. That is not how we will make a progress in. I mean, this is how it will be, to open up boundaries and have these vulnerable and sticky topics on the table. And
Thank you so much, Somya. I
yeah,
think you have set the stage right
thank you.
for some of the. This is a global perspective now, and
Mhm.
some of the real life stories from the corporate world to come out today. So, may I request Shelly? Wow, when I look at your profile, you are 19 plus years of experience, a very rare talent from HR and technology, and all the laurels that are possible to be on somebody's resume. Shelly, please share with us today. This is your moment.
Thank you, Poonam. I'm so honored to be on this panel with all of you, and was just, whatever Soumya was talking and saying, it was just resonating, so deep. Because, she said in her last few lines that in 2021, you don't have, somebody actually groping you in a corporate workplace. And the type of harassment is actually very different. And I would like to bring forth one of my experiences, in fact, a very, very traumatic experience. I have to yet get out of it. So, sexual harassment and workplace harassment actually go hand in hand. So let me put it like this. What people know, patriarchy and sexism are still two most very important um, um, things that are going around in corporates. And if you're a woman, if you're a strong woman, you know your mind, and you want to, and you have only one thing when you come to office, is no nonsense. You're going to do your work and to the best possible way and ways and means that you can. If you have the organizational objective and goals right in front of you, you can see through them and you exactly know how to plan your work. I think that's the only thing that should matter. But in my case, I mean, I'm just consulting my notes because I still go numb when I talk about it. Um, I was doing very well in one of my stints. And for me, it was a double stint that I came back after many years to the same company. Um, Again, I was promised something, I was given something. Um, I became popular by virtue of my work. Okay? My status started being questioned, whether I was married, whether I was single, you know. And not only that, I was asked to give favors. Why don't you come up for a drink on in the evening? Or they would call me for meetings on holidays. Um, why, when I questioned why, and they didn't like it, so one led to the other. Then the questions got deeper. The harassment, if I were to say that, got deeper. And once I started putting my foot down and I said, look, I am not going to do all this. That's when, and very senior people in the organization, they know the laws very well. They know the loopholes very well. So that's when it all started. And and all of you would know that while I have a very holistic experience, from talent acquisition to learning and development to I've done business HR, but all of you would agree with me that HR consulting, for example, is a very different genre of work in HR. I mean, not everybody can be an HR consultant, and I didn't want to be that. I mean, so my work started getting hampered. They would put me in one role or the other. They would give me dead projects one after the other. Thank God I never gave up, because I was breadwinner of the family. I had a child to take care of. And going back to my child, with a very light heart was very difficult, because every day it was becoming absolutely impossible for me to continue. And, in spite of being given the best performer award, a cash prize, certificate within just a few months of my joining, because the business started to grow and people started becoming, there was retention reduced to an 11% from a 24%. The cost to revenue ratio, really worked out very well. People were more motivated. Then I was asked to chuck out people on the basis of their diverse cultural backgrounds. And I said, no, well, I'm not going to do such a thing unless and until it's in the interest of the organization. So people don't want women to question. People don't want women to ask. And as I say this, I'm shivering, because, that's when it all started. And they said that they started shifting me out of, so it would be one office today, and it would be a 60 kilometer far office, the next day. And that's how it went on.
Shelly, did you complain to your the IC committees who in the organizations are
Yes,
supposed
yes,
to take care
yes,
of
I
these
did.
businesses?
And that was a big fuss, because my complaint was against my head HR, who in turn reported to the CHRO, and they were all hand in glove. And that's when it all, and the CHRO knew exactly that he could pull strings, and he did. He did it very well. My son was alone in the house, and I used to return home at 9 at 10 in the night, because I had to travel for 2 hours in that particular city that I was in. And I would be making frantic calls to understand if my son is okay. Once he didn't take the call, and for 2 hours in the taxi, I was literally biting my nails. For what? Just for being performing so well. And that's when they gave me dead projects, a competency project, which And they very well knew that a competency project in this kind of an organization would not run, because it was not, the functions were not decentralized or centralized for that matter. So, but I still worked hard at it and I got it all up and running. So obviously they couldn't chuck me out. I did complain to the ICC, but the CHRO just dissolved. He didn't even allow my case to go to the sexual harassment committee, the POSH committee. And what actually connotates as a sexual harassment thing? I mean, looking down at your buttons and commenting on it, is it not sexual harassment? Looking even
Yes,
further down, is it not sexual harassment?
it is.
Asking you your age, commenting that you look much younger and that you should go out with them for a drink, is it not sexual harassment?
It is.
Patting you on your shoulder and just pressing it slightly there. How do you show that to the ICC committee?
It
That,
is.
he actually pressed me here. I
No,
had
no
what
women
I,
is no women is walking around in any organization with cameras on. We are not sting journalists,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, wrong insinuations. They said my documentation was not complete. I mean, 19 years in the organization, I have certificates that are there. I have my proper relieving certificates, my joining certificates. What do you mean my documentation is not complete? And when I answered to that, they knew it was a lost cause. Then they started pulling strings.
Nobody
They have
supported you from the organizations, Shelly, because even in the
See, it was a
IT, women are
CHRO.
supposed to be a part of it
No,
to
it
take
was a
care of
group.
other women.
No, it was the group CHRO. You see, women did. The other women people, it's so sad that, women don't stand up to each other. We don't stand up for each other. And the other woman I was told by my boss, why don't you come and sit with me every morning, you know, in my room and give me a report? Well, I submit a report to you every evening before I leave for the day. And, I write it down for you. And what sort of report do you want? You call me 3 times, 4 times a day. I mean, then why would I come to the office when nobody is there in the office and I would sit with you and do what? But still, once a week I would go. I did follow my protocols. I did respect him for his position. And then my rules were changed, wrong insinuations were made. I was isolated at work. I was rebuked, you know. And then finally, I was, as I said, I couldn't take it anymore. I was threatened. I couldn't take it anymore. So the first job that came my way, I just took it up without even, it was a big risk because, and I had to pay a very heavy price for it. My child and myself, we were separated because of this particular job. My child had to, go to a hostel for 1.5 years. And I know how I live without my child. That particular organization owes me an apology, if nothing else. 2 years, that CHRO threatened me that you will not get a job. And he's made sure, because every job application has to go through a proper ref check. And that man out there must be pulling strings. Otherwise, every day for the last 2.5 years, I have been applying to almost, I've been making at least 15 to 20 applications every day. Where
I
does it get
hope
stuck?
somebody is listening to this. I really hope.
Where does
Shelly,
it
are you
get stuck?
saying it's been 2 years? A
Yeah,
talented woman leader like you is without a job?
yeah. My father passed away in my arms. He went away a very unhappy man. His last question to me on his deathbed was, "Did you get a job? Did you have a job, Lagi? Why should I go through this? Is this country do this to its women?" And then we're talking about women empowerment. It
I,
has been harrowing. It has been.
Shelly, we all are with you. And if this is the day for women, then I'm sure somebody is listening. Somebody will trust who you are. Somebody will trust your talent. And I'm sure somebody will come to you saying that we need a talent like you who just wants to deliver for the work and the organizational goals. Thank you so much for speaking with us, Shelly.
Thank you, Poon.
Sorry. Prashant, we'll have to cut this. I'm sorry, I have to shut this phone off, please.
Shelly, I'm so sorry you had to go through something like that. I promise we're all with you.
India did not inform you? I'm out of the phone.
Shelly, it's the same case with me, Shelly. I also have 20 years of experience and I still have that capacity to go another 20 years. And believe me,
Sure.
for the past 2 years, I'm thinking where I went wrong. I think Poonam is back.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot to.
That's fine.
Okay, back. Mm, I'm always very disturbed after listening to you, Shelly. I think I'm equally disturbed to know what you expressed, what you mentioned, what you went through. I don't think any woman really deserves to be going through this. And anybody on the other side, whoever he or she is, has the power to treat another human being like this. So I hope hashtag #Me2 brings the parity, the human element back in humans. I think the power makes people feel like they are God, and they believe that the worst part is they believe they are gods. So probably this panel and all the stories will shatter all the incorrect feelings that people with power today have and bring the human back to how we should be treating each other wherever we are, however we are. Everybody is trying hard to achieve something in life, and we need to respect that. With this, I'll move on to Indu. Indu, again, a senior professional from the industry with a very varied experience. I have already described about all her achievements in life, and she is here to smash patriarchy. And not just that, to smash and give empowerment to a lot of women who will be listening to
Yeah,
us today. Indu, over to
yeah,
you.
yeah. Thank you, everyone, and I'm really honored to be here in this panel. So I have my own, like you can share of stories, and the problem is like what I really agree with what Shelly and Somya said that this office harassment and sexual harassment they're closely related, and sometimes it's really hard to differentiate between these. So there are many cases like I'm working since 97 July. Just after my graduation, I started working, and so there are many phases, like started from a junior programmer, then moving ahead in the ladder. So many experiences, in fact, experiences like somebody staring at your clothes and yours, and or in fact in front of you sizing the skirts of other girls. So that time, in fact, I used to really feel very uncomfortable. Why he is or she is doing that? Even she, why they're doing it? And
What do you mean by
now
sizing the skirts, Indu? If I
like
do not
yeah,
understand.
it's about like okay, it's
In a
above the
in a
knee.
meeting, in a professional meeting?
Oh yes, on the professional meeting on the office floor, you know that. So in fact, now I think I should have objected that moment of time, because
Yes.
even just being part of it, just listening or what they're talking about is again, I think that way I contributed to that kind of harassment. So okay, so I've worked with many, as I said, many kind of professionals, few very good ones as well. Like in fact, I worked for Indian Navy as a contractual employee for a couple of years, and it was an excellent environment. It was, I've seen that what do you mean by the equal opportunities over there. But
That's
corporate is
good.
but corporate is a bit different.
Why
Corporate
do
is
you say so? Why do you say so? Human being
uh,
speaking.
okay. I'll tell you a couple of experiences of mine. There was one senior of mine, like to whom I went to for something to discuss about. I said let's sit and discuss about it. So single statement said, "आप वैसे तो आते ही नहीं हो बात करने, कभी आ जाया करो, बैठ जाया करो." I was like, so what he's trying to tell, like what he's trying to say, you know this is just one, it is a casual statement of the person, and I'm not the only one. Then I heard about the stories that this is the statement he speaks to every girl, right? Second thing is, in another episode is like when I was talking about, I'm pretty good in the trainings, mentorship and all, so I'm so in I quite aggressive as well. This is what is I've been labeled as, you are an aggressive woman. So in one of
What do you
the
mean by an aggressive woman?
outspoken, that is not acceptable.
All leaders are supposed to be outspoken. I think it's a quality.
It
If
is
you
a
can speak, you
quality.
can be a leader. You can
Now
speak,
the thing
right?
is, it is a quality what they really look for, but this is a quality what they don't accept. Right?
That is
So
very confusing.
yeah.
You
So
are trying
now
to say when somebody is interviewing, they would look for this quality, right? It is a quality,
agree.
correct?
Right.
But the
Right.
moment you come,
You part of their group
yeah,
and you start speaking, it's no more a quality.
it's no more a quality.
It's no more a quality. It's something we don't want to have an aggressive woman in our group. आप बोलते बहुत हो. I was like, what? I'm a leader in your group. I'm not supposed to talk, right? I'm not supposed to express just because I'm just not agree on few point of yours, right?
And you have your mind to speak,
Yeah,
right?
definitely yes.
We are
Definitely yes.
educated women. We will
Yeah,
have viewpoint, right?
right. So I was with a very good brand for a couple of years, and people actually really look forward to be associated with that brand. So I was reporting to a person. So in one of the meeting, actually, okay, in one of the meeting, he said that Indu. I asked him like, what is my progression now, right? Because we worked a lot for a couple of years now. Like, what is the path? So he said, Indu, women are not skilled enough to move ahead in the ladder. I said, what? So he said, no, women are not skilled enough. They have their own responsibility at home and they're not skilled. So that was it. So that day I realized, no, I know.
Did he say that women are
He
not skilled
said
enough to
they are
move
not
up the
skilled.
ladder?
Perfect. This is the line. This is the
Is
line.
this the reason that because of this mentality, you just have some very small percentage of women who are sitting in the leadership position as CEOs of the companies? Is this
This
a
is
reality
what.
that people that this is the way
That is why I always say when I've been part of many initiatives as well in past. I said don't hire women if your culture is not supporting it.
But what about the
Don't have a
diversity
culture.
and inclusion then?
It's an
That's a
altogether.
very
This is
big.
altogether different story. We'll talk about it that too. But that's the day I
Do
decided.
you believe diversity and inclusion is something that is done from the heart? And
As
you
I
laugh
as,
at
as
it
I
all.
always believe, women hiring women's in leader are not your trophies. They are there to work. Right, they are not your trophies, they are not their numbers like we have so many percentage of women at leadership position is not your trophy. They are there because
They're
they are
capable.
they are capable, they are skilled enough, they have relevant experience. Let them work. Right, don't claim it because everyone knows the inside story.
Yes.
Right, so
Indu, when you were going through, I can just imagine somebody telling you right on your face that women are not meant for going up. I mean, I cannot imagine what you would have thought because it is clearly telling you that this is it. You
it was
don't
a
go
shocker
anywhere
for
from
me,
it.
Pooja, it was a shocker
How,
for
how did
me.
you deal with such emotions and why don't you tell the younger generation? Because it is a reality in the corporate world, right?
It is, it is.
How did you deal with such emotions?
So after that I tried to my seniors, I tried to a few HR representatives, but there was no action from their end. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Did
You
you
know,
plan to approach IC formally?
I was not aware about that. I was not aware about that at that moment of time.
You were not aware that there
Awareness
is an
there was
internal
no
complaints
there was
committee
no
to help women?
no, we were not aware of the email IDs or who to reach and everything over there. And I'm
Really?
talking about a very big brand, trust me.
That is as per the law. The law commands the organizations, and that's why the
But
Vishwas
law is
guidelines
but
came
law
in
is not.
2013.
The thing is, Poonam, law is not monitoring,
Yes.
right? Right? To know the law, you have to make people aware.
And that's what I think, Somya, you just said this, that in your training programs, right? You just mentioned that there is no awareness about what the law is. Is the onboarding having any kind of a thing which is related to making people aware.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, see, in the US, they do have during the onboarding and when you're doing the induction of a new hire, you do have to undergo the training for, they call it the EEO training, Equal Opportunity. So that's an American from the 1960s civil rights. That's the
Yeah.
they kind of clubbed all of the different types of harassments and made it into an EEO. And so most people who are working, they will have some training where they are made aware of their rights and the policy of the organization. Where do they stand? Every organization that has 15 employees or more has to abide to that EEO policy. That's a federal law, and there are also those vehicles in place, tools in place, that if you think that you're harassed, you can go to A, B, and C at your department level. There should be a representative at the senior level. There should be
So
a
Somya,
representative, and
sorry,
so
this
on.
is something, Somya, this is something that is told to employees explicitly so that they are aware of it.
Yes.
What Indu is trying to say is that employees are not even aware that there is an IC and they can go up.
I know, and I'm very surprised as well when Indu mentioned it, that probably it gets lost somewhere in those gazillion trainings that we
Yes.
do when we are hired, right?
Agree.
So which person was writing down that they're going to get sexually harassed? Let me just write that down on my
I
notes because I'm
swear.
going to
Right,
get
right.
I
yeah,
swear.
I'm going to get harassed 6 months from now. So
Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
going
yeah.
to do that. So so yeah, so I agree with you, Indu, and those things might be hidden somewhere on some training, but they're not
Yes.
in the forefront. They're not
Not in the
highlighted.
forefront.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, I
So
Absolutely.
as
that
I
is
told,
essentially what I'm
as I
saying.
said that I've reached to one of the HR representative as well. In fact, my own seniors as well. I've stated them everything. They said, no, this is sad, but that was it.
That
Then
is it.
after a couple of months, then I moved on. But there's another part of it. Then after a few days, I interviewed in another very good brand, and they asked me. I think they first of all they just shared my own CV on the screen, and they said, and highlighted my that experience, and they said, why you left this organization in in so many years and months. So I said, because that culture was not. I didn't like, I didn't like the culture
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
organization or like the people around. So they didn't like this answer. They then asked me to elaborate it.
yeah,
But everybody wants to be there. Why you left so? There must be some reason. Then I told them this story, and that was it. Then there was a pause after that.
yeah.
So even if the problem is, even if you raise your voice, even
Did
if you
you get
speak,
hired by the same
mm,
organization who listened to you?
no, no,
So
no,
here
no.
we
There
are
was a
trying to make a
pause.
point. Yeah, there's a pause,
Pause.
and
That means they have decided not to go with this woman.
okay,
You
because
know
you were honest to mention what you were doing.
exactly. So they even the acceptance of those women who are vocal about these things or share their
Not there.
experiences is not at all there. So what Somya is saying, the training, the email ID, everything is good, but
Yeah,
that's only because there is a law,
there's a law. Yeah, true.
right?
Great. Thank you, Indu. Let's hear it
Thank
from
you.
Anisa. I think she has a lot to tell us and something that will be very hard hitting. I'm very sure. Anisa, we would want you to tell us.
Thank you, Poonam, for giving this opportunity. In fact, I feel so proud to be part of this group. As if, the main reason for us to be together and give some message to the world, in fact, that proudness I'm feeling it today. To be very honestly speaking, before I speak out, whatever I wanted to get that pleasure or, whatever I was missing or I was punished for, today, believe me, I would sincerely like to thank you that even though we couldn't get what we wanted in our earlier organization, you gave that opportunities to at least express and what we wanted, even though we didn't get, we got it today.
Thank you,
So I
Somia. Thank you.
sincerely thank you
That's the
for
mission of
organizing this.
hashtag V2. That's the mission of hashtag V2.
Exactly.
You all are the founding speakers, and this wave has to go ahead now. So I'm so happy that you said that. Thank you.
Exactly, Poonam. To talk about myself, I have got around 20 years of experience. And basically, I'm a Bangalorean married to a Kashmiri. I'm a Brahmin married to a Muslim. So the
Wow.
community, yeah, the community wise, the region wise, everywhere I took a stand to stand myself, voice it out. But somewhere down the lane, Poonam, I had to go through.
Your mic is off. Anisa, I think the mic. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't know where I dropped. Uh,
You had to take a stand. We'll start from there.
yeah, I had to take a stand right from the religion and the region, because I'm a South Indian married to a Kashmiri. So I had to go personally, ups and downs, but because of my nature, adaptability, that nature I have within, I could sustain. So that is where I thought that when I could sustain in my own personal life, why not in professional? And that's where I realized that you have to voice it out. Okay, so that was my success during my one of the biggest company in this world now. I had a really beautiful journey for around 8 to 9 years. The day when unfortunately a lady herself came into my professional life, where I had to face all these problems where Somia quoted or Indu quoted or Shelly quoted. I never wanted to quit from that particular company. I was doing absolutely good. I was championing anything and everything. Right from getting the bringing the business to the closure, I was known for it. But that was not seen. That was not considered. It's only because I was outspoken. I was pointing out where things had to go wrong. I was observing Soumya's point. I was champion in onboarding process and executions. So I used to say that this should be the major concept for newcomers. It can be from experienced or a fresher. You need to explain what is good and bad, or where you need to really raise your voice. Your email ID should be displayed. The contact number should be given. You won't believe the top leaders used to come and say, "Hey, Anisa, what are you saying? You are giving an opportunity for an employee to raise voice, which will be against us. You cannot do this. Don't introduce this in onboarding. This is not acceptable in India. Don't think that whatever you are saying, it is going to be approved, even though we appreciate what you're saying." Whatever suggestions I used to give, it was appreciated. Wow, Anisa has brain. Anisa comes up with a lot of good ideas and stuff like that. But when it comes to approval, one or the reason, our own women group, they used to criticize and say no. Okay, I was the one in the corporate world used to say you should leave the person to wear what they want. Okay, you come to the office to work, not to see what you're wearing, right? But that was not acceptable. So every stage where I had that power to bring changes in the world in terms of helping both women and men, it was not accepted. Okay, so that was one of my problem which I had. I was going through every time, when there was a group of discussion, slowly gradually I started becoming mum. I used to feel myself that I lost identity. If someone used to say, "Hi Anisa, you talk about yourself or you tell me your experience," I used to think, should I have to say this? If I say this, I don't think this person is going to accept. So for me, Poonam, to quote this, whether it is Me Too or now we are going to launch our We Too, okay?
Yes.
Everyone would come to you on the table, would want to say something, but we need to encourage people to accept it, right?
Yes.
The day, whether it is in India or any part of the world, the day the person accepts what you are saying, that day you feel the difference. I have gone
Right.
through very very bad stages in my professional life, which impacted my personal life very badly. Even now I am not able to come out of the trauma which I have gone through. Every day morning when I get up, I only dream. Even though I'm successfully sustained and started my own business, I still want to work for the company. That pleasure, that happiness is something else. Getting up in the morning, you feel proud. You feel that, okay, you have done something and you are going to do something.
Yes.
Age is never a problem for me, but unfortunately the age itself has become a problem to me. You won't believe, as you were saying, at the time of interview they would look for all qualities in the world to carry that particular position, but
Correct.
when you sit on the chair, Okay, then they compare you with a person who has got just couple of years of experience. And when there is a group discussion, you are not given a chance to even to talk. I used to feel, am I compared with an intern who has just joined in? Her suggestions are more valid than me. Then what am I doing here? Right? Shelly or Indu was saying one of the pointers that they were moved from role to role. I was given, you won't believe, I carry a rich recruitment experience, okay, well, in one of the international company, but I was forced to go to a PA role for 1.5 years.
Oh my
I
God.
was I was literally doing calendar work for 1.5 years. And believe me, as Shelly said, I didn't give it up. I said, maybe I will learn something out of it. I learned coordination. I learned time management. I learned how to do, anything and everything being a PA. But it never, I did not have a dignity of labor, but I always used to feel like, why am I put in this role? More than that, next day when I go to the office, my own colleagues, my own closest friends in the professional, place, they used to say, Anisa, something has gone wrong with you. That is why they have put you here. You
So
know,
this
so
is this this is to put a thought in your head, right? A psychological thought that the
yeah,
problem is in you.
yeah. Not only a thought, they tried all possible ways to let me leave the job. Okay, let me leave the job. I holded it for it that for 13 years, Poonam, 13 years. Believe me, I was shocked. I was taken away when Shelly said that I was detached with my son for 1.5 years, right? That day, believe me, since it is a women forum, a major, I would like to say my daughter got first period and I was not allowed to come home to see her. That's where I decided no. And believe me, I strongly now feel that no means no. It is not necessary you have to be
Not negotiable.
harassed, you have to be ashamed, you have to be, god forbid, anything very bad happens to you, then only no is a very strong word. Even in a simple language, when you say no, one should accept that no, one should respect that no. That
True.
is what I went through. And the
Did you go
same.
around, Anisa, talking about it like your allies or people? How is the support system like usually when there is a kind of an outcast of someone because someone is outspoken, right? Did,
Yes,
did you did you find
I
support?
did. I did. Fortunately, in our company, we had a proper system. Unlike the other companies, we had a recording system, we had email system. Everything was done in a systematic, processed way. But when you complete it, even though they say it is very secret, no one would get to know. But the moment you complete the conversation and come to your desk, within half an hour's time, your own boss calls you into the room and say, "Hey, tell me, we got to know you have gone for a recording. Did you complain about me?" I'm sure you would have told about me.
And this
And
fails the
no,
law. And this fails
yes,
the law.
yeah. And you can't even say yes or no. And unfortunately, because of my boldness, one day I lost it. I said, yes, I have complained about you. And these are the reasons I have complained about you. Right? So, unfortunately, some set of people, tag corporate as bad place. It is not that everyone are wrong in the corporate place. It is not that every seniors are wrong, but because of few elements, few people in this place, makes you dirty, makes you feel dirty. And unfortunately, after moving out from the industry, I felt that okay, the industry where I was in, probably that industry itself is like that. Let me change my industry and go into different industry and see. And I did that. I took a change and challenge in my career, and I went to another industry. Maybe because I'm very upfront, very honest. During my interview, I happened to tell the reason why did I leave, and that became my problem.
So this I'm
And
listening for the second time. That is what exactly Indu you said that the moment you are honest and you say that this is what
yes,
you are, then you are tagged as a problem child, right?
yeah,
Right, right.
I'm very aggressive in terms of work. I'm very obedient. I need accuracy in reports. When they appreciate, wow, Anisa is good. But when you ask for the same data from your own colleagues, they say, Anisa, you can't expect everyone to be 100%. Take it as it is. You know, For us, no holidays, no nothing as such, because I was available. I am a person, okay, you call me at 24 hours, I'll take it up. They take that liberty to call me for anything. But by chance, after 6 o'clock, if you call, it used to go against me that being a HR, how can she call me? Right? So harassment, Poonam, doesn't mean sexually, physically, talking about your dress code. No. Yeah. To add on to that, I was even asked not to attend meetings, major meetings outside, because I was not dressed according to their taste, their way of things. I was not attending, late night parties. That became a problem to me.
Are you saying that not socializing because you have a family is a deterrent for your career success? Are we trying to say that?
See, I don't even want to say family. Okay, it is your priority.
Yes.
Okay, I want to choose my company. If I am in office for 9 hours, that is dedication, and I need to be there, which you can demand for. After 9 hours or 10 hours, it is my wish whether I want to be with office people, with my parents, or anywhere else in the world, or
Yes,
I want to be myself, alone.
absolutely.
Yeah, we being professionals, we may not get time to chat in social media, because we are busy, we are dedicated, and we give the time. And late evening, in case if one of our colleague gets to know that we are chatting in whatever the social media, next day it becomes a topic in the office, saying, wow, Anisa please late night chatting in the social media talking about XYZ things.
But she
I
doesn't
mean,
come for office parties.
yeah, she
But she
doesn't
doesn't
come.
come.
Yeah, see, she goes to another party. I can see her, drinking or whatever, but she refuses in front of us. That means she doesn't like us. There is some problem. How do you convince that, right? So, Poonam, what I say today is for the younger generation, especially, and in fact, I should say that nowadays younger generations are much better. They speak it out.
Yes.
They speak it out.
They have
In
the
our days,
confidence.
or even, yes, maybe it is an education that they get through, or because of the social media, or they are now, they're groomed in that way, or they're seeing
Anita,
their
thanks to
mothers.
the mothers like who are sitting on this panel. Thanks to mothers like you and
Exactly.
all the mothers, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Either they're seeing their mothers or father, whichever the parent, or they get to hear about the stories.
Yeah.
Now they are. I'm very happy that they come up with certain things. Yeah, they speak it out. Now, and one more thing, Poonam, if you observe in any organization, the way they treat elder people or the aged employee, the way they treat younger generation is different. The way they communicate, the whatever the content is different to them. When it comes to experienced people, the code what they say, hey, look, we understand you are very adjusting person. Hey, look, we know that you carry that experience, that you understand what we are trying to tell you. They are youngsters, so we have to deal with them like that. You learn that. You know. So, I mean, if you ask me, from this day V2 to next year V2, the topic will continue on the experience, as experience can flow like anything. In that matter, Poonam, many of women have proved in this COVID time, they managed office as well as
Oh,
home pretty
excellently.
well.
Yes.
In
Yes.
spite of seeing this, in
Yes.
spite of seeing this, I
We should
really want to
clap
say,
for all
in
those
spite of
women
seeing this,
us who could do this. So this clap is for everyone out
yes,
there.
yes,
Yes. I like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
in spite of that, I'll
Yes.
tell you, your own home people do not appreciate the fact that you have your calls. You can lock your room and you can take the call. There will be a call coming out saying, hey, can you give me just cup
So
of
that's
tea,
the
and then
love.
take your
That's
call.
the love of the family. Anisa, that's the love of the family.
Exactly. But what I'm trying to say here is that women are capable enough to handle any kind of pressure in the world.
Yes. Yes.
Any kind.
Yes.
Any kind. But unfortunately, if it is not seen, if it is not, accepted, for me, the acceptance is very, very important. Until you
We
embrace
hope
the
that we
problem.
change the world. That's why these chatters are happening. We hope that a lot of people will listen to it. We hope that sexual predators will get it right, that there are stories coming out and people will express, and especially women. And this gender is not going to be just sitting mum. As you rightly said, the younger generation is much more vocal, and the younger generation know they know they're right very well. So maybe what has happened with the millennials will not go ahead for the Generation Z. But yes, with this, thank you, Anisa. Let me go to the Generation Z that is sitting here, the media mogul. Yes, Sitara, why don't you
Thank you.
share your media spicy stories with us and tell, and not just the spicy stories, and tell us that what gave you the courage to become an entrepreneur? The good and the bad. I think the learning is the good, and it is stemming from both good and bad. And what, as a young entrepreneur, right? I'm very proud of you. Um, tell us everything, and how would you want to inspire the world today?
Sure. First of all, I'd like to begin by wishing everyone a happy Women's Day. And this is the right way we're celebrating by voicing out our opinions. And this wouldn't have been possible without Poonam and we too. So thank you so much for coming out with something such a inspiring, forum for all of us. Secondly, I'd like to pass on my gratitude and sympathies to all my fellow panelists. I've heard, listened, and all of this just makes me angry. I am a frustrated young woman right now, so irritated, so frustrated, but we don't know where to go. But and the worst part is every woman that's watching us right now is there snapping her fingers, clapping and saying, yes, I've gone through this. Yes, we stand together, but there is no exit from this. So through this panel and through such panel discussions, I hope there is an exit to this, where we have a paradigm shift, where few years down the lane, I wish people are watching this video and saying, hey, wow, we're now in a world where the world is different and safer. And Anisa, a personal apology from my generation to yours for setting you aside. I'm so sorry. I promise I'll make you a cup of coffee when you come home, and we will not have a generation gap. So
No, no, no. Please don't say that because I have a daughter of your age.
that's amazing.
So I see both the flip every time. So don't worry. But I would love to come and have a cup of tea in your place.
Yes, please. So, where do I start? First of all, I think I envy each one of y'all because you come from corporate organizations with, a system which has a functioning HR, which has people that you can go to. Of course, they're not approachable. That's the second thing. But, you have an option like that. But I come from the media, and my experience goes about 10 years in media. And I think as women, our battle starts from the time we've been conceived in our mom's womb, and people know that we are women, from female feticide to being sexually abused by your own relatives or your caretakers. And then you go out to the world trying to achieve something, and then, the workplace is just dragging you down. So in the media, if you're a fresher and you get into the media, the first thing is you do not get recognized immediately. So to even get a byline, it takes more than a year. Your first byline on the newspaper takes more than a year. And behind this goes a lot of ego rubbing and a lot of trying to prove yourself as a woman, trying to show that you're worthy to cover the news as equal as someone from the opposite gender, trying to say that a woman can be a journalist. And I'm here telling you that a generation apart, that nothing has changed from yours to mine. I'm sorry, we as women are still objectified in all possible ways, be it advertisements as what we see, be it Bollywood numbers, be it even a casual banter with friends. We women are, questioned, and by God forbid, if you get the right answer in a quiz, then wow, she knows her, general knowledge. Wow, a woman is intelligent. That's surprising. So these are snarky comments that we hear on a daily basis. So the media is still kind of dark, we have no place to go. We have no one to say that I am a woman and I am facing these issues. Because the second we say this, they will tell us that, I'm sorry, your gender doesn't count here because you're here to make a career. So if you are here to make a career, you need to deal with all of this, because tomorrow I can send a boy to the same report and he can finish it faster than you. So these are the things that we get to hear. So even if we voice out saying, I'm experiencing something like this, our efficiency is questioned as opposed to our gender and our capabilities. And speaking about a personal experience, I had this one senior colleague. So this person is well established in the organization, right? There was no way for me to avoid speaking to him because this happened on a daily basis. So according to this person, he would never recognize any woman with her face, because the first thing he would look at is our breasts, right? So we're standing right in front of him, giving him reports, asking him to do something, and his eyes are straight at our breasts. And trust me, the first week I experienced this, I thought this was really, annoying and irritating. And I even at one point told him that, I'm sorry, sir, but my face is here. It's not there. Can you look at my face? This is making me uncomfortable. And after that, I went about asking my fellow colleagues, telling them that, I'm experiencing something like this, and it's really embarrassing. I don't know if there's something wrong with me that he's staring me out there, or is there anything I can do about it? And female colleagues said, yeah, that's how he is. We've tried. I mean, nothing can happen. It's probably his DNA issue, and they just laughed it off. So when I went to my seniors, they said, I'm sorry, wear a dupatta, try to cover yourself, because that's how he is. And so we didn't have someone, a cell or a group of people that you can go to and speak to them confidentially, complaining about it and saying, see, this is what I'm going through. Because tomorrow, if something like that happened and I went and told someone, you will become the talk of the organization. Everyone in the publication will know about you. Everyone will start shaming you and saying, oh, wow, we've all experienced this, but none of us had the courage. So are you trying to make a statement here? And the same well-established seniors will look at me and say that we've dealt with something like this for so many years. You think you can come and make a change? Like, seriously, what are you thinking? So you have
Somia, talk about normalization here. Talk about normalization.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
we are talking about people who are the highs and the mighties of the organization, and it is
Exactly.
normalized on the floor that this kind of a behavior that falls into a criminal sexual harassment because somebody is making you uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Talk about normalization.
And the best part is, the head of HR will know your boss, so your boss knows about what's happening, and then it's messed up. And the media is extremely well connected. So one publication chucks you out, gives you the pink slip, then your career is ruined. You're never going to get a job in any other places. So if you're dealing with harassment, you need to understand all of these things. If you're trying to enter the media, you need to know that you are a woman. You cannot voice your opinion. You cannot tell people that you're uncomfortable, because you will be considered weak. So after this, I couldn't take this anymore. So of course, I moved to a different organization, and there nothing was any different, because here I was asked to dress well and walk around in the office so we can attract better clients to our companies, because apparently I was the face of my company. Here again, my knowledge, my intellect, my experience, none of this was counted. It was just me as a woman. It's just me. So if I'm a woman, like Indu said, we're just trophies. That's all they want to show. Even if they want to show that they have an inclusive, diverse culture in their organization, they will only get women to show the ratio on the paper and say, see, we have both women and men here. We're all working perfectly fine. But ultimately, every woman in the organization know why we were hired there for. Only to show that we are women, and only to show that the world is moving forward, while every day we're just going back to caveman times. I think from the stories that I've heard, back in caveman age, women were more dominant than how we are now. So, and every step of the way in our lives, and I have personally been sexually abused as a child, right? So to come from that trauma, to come out to a world and still have hope in the world, thinking that I can make a stand, I can make a career, I can be that woman that will support other women and grow together. And then here again, you're dragged down every step of the way. It's stereotypes that surround you as a woman, the fact that people can think they have the right to have an opinion about you, about what we wear, about where we can go, what we can eat, what we can drink, how we look like, what we can speak, what not we should, what time we get back home. I mean, these are the kind of stereotypes that are just shuddered upon women so much that we are, we're tied by shackles. It's very difficult for us to break through these shackles and come out. So
But
this
you
is
have
where,
done that, Sitara. I'm proud of you. The whole panel is very, very proud of you. This is only for you to break the shackles and become an entrepreneur. How many women have the courage to do so? I
so
am sure what you have gone through, somebody would just cry, get depressed, sit inside a room and ruin their life. We are so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
thank you so much. And this is exactly what influenced me. This is what inspired me. It did not drag me down because my dad did not raise a coward. I
Wow.
know that for sure. So I did not go down. And this is why I came out of the system. I fought the system, came out, started a publication on my own. And the only thing I state to all my reporters today, to my family today, is that you are not alone. We are together. I have ensured that we have free mental health consultation for every single reporter in my organization, because
Excellent.
this is
Very
what
good.
we need. It's not about your pay package, it's not about the perks you get, it's not about your parties, it's not about anything. I'm
It's
sorry.
about how you are treated as a
Exactly.
human being.
It's about the mental support you get. It's about saying that we're a team. I'm not your boss. I do not own you, but we're one. And
Yes.
we need to walk this path together. We need to grow holistically together. This is what we are looking at. So
You
this
are
is
so inspirational, Sitara. You are so
Indeed,
inspirational.
indeed, right.
Really. In the interest of time, and thank you so much, Sitara, for thanks everyone. I mean, each story is so unique. Each and every points that everything that you said, it I believe it came from the heart, and it is so important, not only for any generation, but every each and every single woman out there who's listening, who's watching this. It is going to create something in someone's life, and that is the motto of hashtag V2. To in the interest of time, just imagine when there are so many women together, they can really pull off such a big show, and we have so much to talk. The one very pertinent question, or something that can, we all spoke about our experiences, but how do we create difference in the world? The authorities that are watching this, what is their takeaway? Is there any appeal that each one of you would want to make? I would want you to make an appeal so that this is the reality, and this is our wish list. This is our appeal to the authorities, and not just the authorities. This is our appeal to, as you rightly said, Sitara, and you mentioned, Anisa, there are so many dignified leaders who we look up to. The corporate world is full of them, but there are people who use their powers in the wrong fashion. And we as women, if we come across such people, we are troubled. We are brought down. Our dignities are questioned and hampered. And it is not just about you leaving a job and coming back home. Anisa, I can go through your feelings when you said every single day when you are up, you have those traumatic, feelings, subconscious emotions that are troubling you, because your prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, is never going to give you the peace that you must get. I hope we all get the peace by appealing to the HRs of the world, to the CHROs, who are the flag bearers of health, mental health, and of course, health in totality for their employees. um, you must make an appeal today so that it reaches everyone out there who's watching you. Indu, we will start with you. What is your appeal to the corporate
Sure.
world, to the CHRO, CEOs, and of course the governmental authorities?
Yeah. So, like I would say that more awareness is required. Just like Soumya also said that In fact, Anisha also said that it's not only on while the time of onboarding you just make them aware, give them email ID, and they can't remember. In fact, I wasn't even aware that there is some group called IC in the organization. What is the email ID? How to reach them? Who are the representative? This is one thing, more awareness of towards it. Second thing is more awareness of these processes to the HR representatives, to the HR fraternity itself, to the lowest level. Because this is whenever I see anything going wrong, I'll just go to the first HR spock of my group
Right.
instead of finding another group. I'll just go to them. So I'm not even sure are they aware of this or not. Along employees is one story. What about the people within the HR group, right? So more awareness is required at that end as well. And the most important part is, like, I think I made a mistake. I was a bit hesitant. I moved out of that organization, but now I think I should have done that. So I would request, in fact, I request all of my fellow female fraternity, women fraternity in corporate and everywhere else, that please don't feel hesitant.
Yes.
Please don't do that.
Thank you, Indu.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
And a very happy Women's Day to everyone.
Yeah, thanks.
We should.
We'll move on to Anisa. What is your appeal?
Poonam, first appeal would be, acceptance. When someone speaks it out, one should accept it. So the acceptance, even it can be your own family members, your immediate colleague, immediate friends. Then it comes to next level or HR spock or your heads of the companies. But awareness of the acceptance, how courageously you can encourage the person to speak it out. So until you give that platform, you give that comfort zone to a person that you please speak it out. We are there for you. A shoulder is given to you. Once that confidence level comes to any men or women, then the experiences, whether it is bad or good, it will come out. Otherwise, we only talk about hashtags and come out with a lot of different platforms, but we are not giving that confidence level. That is what is missing. So this is something which I expect that once we launch this hashtag V2, people should be happy to listen to others and give suggestions or solutions. Yeah, advisory committee in every organization should be an important division. It has to be part of the any organization, without which they should not be given any licenses. And in any company, since I am from recruitment background, exit interviews are very, very critical. You have to record each and every pointers that the employee talks about, and a severe action should be taken on the rest of the people. Yeah, exit interviews are taken very casually in every organization the moment you put on your papers. Yeah, they only talk about relieving time and the negotiation of the money and stuff like that. One has to do a retention policy very strongly. Okay, these are the 2 points I would like to see the changes. If that happens, whatever we are talking today, that's worth for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anisa.
Thank
Shelly?
you.
Yeah, so I would like to appeal to all the CHROs, to all the leaders in organizations to please understand that, women are not merely, working for pocket money. For some, they are breadwinners of the family. So please let us not be taken so lightly. We are coming here to work. Okay, yes, some have pedigrees in India, especially. Girls have it tough. For example, I mean, lot many of us don't get to study. So people who've invested in terms of years of experience, or doing intermittent programs in between to keep pace, with education, nurture them, give them the opportunity, and they are really going to work wonders for you. So do not take for granted that somebody's coming to work means that she's just come to work. I mean, I've been told by many, "अरे तुमको क्या ज़रूरत है यार, pocket money के लिए काम करते हो." Now, it's not right to assume. And secondly, I think all women I take Women's Day as a very important day in our lives, and that's the reason why we all are here, aren't we? Let's empower other women. Let's stand up for them. Let's hold her hand, and especially the leaders. I think let them all come forward and say, okay, fine. You have the adequate skill sets. Come, let me see something, and let's hold each other's hand.
Right.
So yeah.
Thank you so much, Shelly. Somya,
Hmm.
your appeal to the world?
Appeal to the world. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think, no, no. I have felt from my experience sitting in the US and also looking everywhere because I work cross culturally as well, that please, I think the appeal is not to make um, women issues and women, sexual harassment or sexual harassment issues as a broader term. Don't just make it bound to a day or a week or an event or a movie event or discussion.
Yes.
I think if we want to see momentum and some things that are going to happen as hard facts, is going to happen if leadership takes it as a top down strategy. These things have to be a part of their organizational strategy, however big or small you are. Unless you're not putting that you want to invest into having employee resource groups for women or employee resource groups for intergenerational conversations or intergender conversations, those things will not move. People make the culture of the workplace, not the other way
Sure.
around, right? You could
Yeah.
be having the best buildings and the best location, but if you have people who are unhappy and they're not going to be engaged, they will not be bringing their 100% to the work, and that will show in your quarterly report eventually. And so I feel that it has to come from top down. It has to come as a
Absolutely.
strategy, and it will show up. It will show up. Gone are the days where people would just put it in the annual report. The corporations will put it that last paragraph is, oh, we also did a coffee chat on women empower. No, I think that's gone are the days. And
Right.
Sitara, with people like you who are representing Gen Z, I think it's gone. I mean, we are moving forward from this. And so we have to have more conversations and more data that shows that these conversations actually matter and show in the strategy as a profit making initiative and not just a last paragraph, we did this on Women's Day. So that's essentially
Yeah.
what I want to say.
Well said, Somya.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. And to the Gen Z now. Sitara, what's your appeal?
I just have one small correction. I'm also from the millennial generation.
Okay.
I mean,
You are somewhere the mix of millennial and
yes,
the Gen Z.
yes, but I work with Gen
The
Z.
youngest, okay, the youngest in the lot, right?
Yes,
The youngest in the lot.
yes. So I have two appeals. First of all, I think every woman is inspired by one woman in her life that she meets. In my case, it's my mom. I've always looked up to her, and if I am a strong girl today, I should thank my mom. So like this, I appeal every woman out there to inspire women around you, because it's only we who can do that to each other. We can't look at anyone else to support us or help us out. So please keep aside the hierarchy that you are in, or keep aside the system that you're asked to follow, keep aside the egos that you have, and please understand that we're all women experiencing battles we're all lying in the same spectrum with different dimensions. That's it. So
Yeah.
we women have to stand together. This is one appeal. And secondly, we wouldn't be in this situation if there was something called as an awareness about the law, about posh law, about law that is pertaining to women, and the fact that women can stand up and fight the law. So I appeal education system to set aside some time. No, it's not just about telling kids about good touch and bad touch, but to also tell them that this is the law, and people can be held against their actions if they do this. So So normalize the fact that you can come out there and appeal to the government and you will get justice. So people need to know that there are laws like this. So these things are supposed to be imbibed in the education system, and both genders need to know this. It's not just women, because men also need to understand they also have women in their family. So these two are the only appeals that I have. Thank you so much once again for the amazing
Thank you
opportunity.
so much. Thank you. I am truly thrilled. I'm feeling empowered. I'm feeling, there is a sense of power that is in the positive way, where your mind is saying that yes, good things can happen when good people come together. The entire movement of hashtag #B2 aims at bringing all the women together who can talk about it, who can inspire each other, who can support each other, and definitely take this movement to the next level where we see change happening on the ground floor, in the offices where we can experience that yes, there is a change which is coming up. The change is not about somebody becoming different. The change is not about a human being completely transforming into who we think he or she should be. The change is about the authorities, the flag bearers, the torch bearers taking the right steps to correct the system. I think we all are talking about the right steps to be taken so that the system supports the women, the system supports the corporate culture, the system supports the growth in the most conducive environment. I mentioned this to everyone, and I would want to end it with that. And that's a hard hitting line for everyone who's watching this. We have blamed Bollywood industry for casting couch. I strongly believe it's not just about that one couch. There is a job couch, there is a promotion couch, there is a survival couch. There are many kinds of couches that are existing in all the industries. And once the government, the authorities, as well as the flag bearers and the torch bearers, the CHROs of the organization, will take cognizance of what we are speaking today. And I request through all of you, all the women who want to share their experiences, to take this platform. And just it's a campaign on LinkedIn. It can go on any other platform tomorrow. Feel free to write, use the hashtag #B2, and let's create a movement where we are feeling empowered by sharing. Because I truly believe that sharing is real caring. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being here. And I look forward to a beautiful world ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now this is my appeal time. You all heard the story of Shelly and Anisa. Please let us come together and help and refer them for bringing their confidence back in the corporate world. One success at a time. I request all the honorable CHROs and all the HRs and the business leaders out there, you heard them speak. Through V2 platform, let us try to help them get their foothold back into the career. I appeal to National Commission of Women and all authorities to take cognizance of such ground realities and help women. I appeal to each one of you watching this panel discussion today who has seen on this Women's Day, let us make meaningful help and difference in the life of our friends, family members, or even colleagues. If you are aware of people who have gone through such traumatic experience, give them the courage to stand up and speak for themselves. Share their story, use the hashtag #B2 and find closure. We all are here to make a difference. We all have come together to make a difference. And yes, we will make a difference. If we all come together, it is quite possible. And when women support other women, magic happens. Hashtag V2 welcomes all the stories and experiences in life, the real life stories, to come together and create a meaningful difference in the corporate world of India. I'm looking forward to a lot of stories to come and experiences to come to create the difference that we want to happen. Thank you.